data center life cycle and the new trends are impacting the retrofits, migration of the high density environments, and how that is impacting the entire project life cycle.
So we are working on a couple of inquiries and the projects where, so I'll take this question on two aspects, one on the new builds and also on the retrofit part. So earlier people were talking about giving the requirement in terms of racks, load, and then we doing the design and then building the data center. But obviously that has changed and people are looking at a complete life cycle analysis of the project when we do the design and build. So that means you need to make sure that whatever the new technologies which are there, what in terms of PV, how it is going to affect, how the you have to basically look at the TCO analysis of a project and then work with the customer and then prove that how whatever the design that you're making or the project that you're building will be able to efficiently run that particular data center. So definitely there is a change in terms of how customers are looking at the data center designs. Similarly, on the retrofit, there is obviously an opportunities where we have people like Iron Mountain or the other operators who are obviously operating their data centers, but obviously looking for new builds or other refreshing their existing fit out, because whatever has been designed earlier was considering 6, 8, 10 kilowatt per rack. But now with AI workloads coming in, obviously we have in the previous discussion, people talking about the GPU as a service, and where we are talking about 20, 50, 100 megawatt, 100 kilowatt per rack in one sec, in individual rack. So obviously your cooling changes, your power densities are different, your busbar changes in terms of where the infrastructure has been built. All that needs to be looked at in a different way in terms of retrofit. So obviously we look at that aspect and keep that in mind when we do the design of new projects. Yeah.
Thank you. So another question, maybe I can as a follow-up question to Muthu. So we talk about projects. So how you think or how you look from the operations perspective, and how you are uh, considering the assumptions, these changes or these life cycle changes which is happening, considering the high density racks and the machine learning AI ML, and how you are taking those inputs to make operation reliant and making your operation more compatible with these changes.
Yeah, and normally, once the project finish, they will hand over to us. Okay, it's a normal thing. Operations remains the same. Okay, we are not going to change any procedures, anything, everything. I mean, operating a data center is a very difficult situation because we are running the operations for 24/7. We can't down even for a single millisecond, all those things. So when the retrofit or any new things come in, definitely we have to change a little bit on the lightly on the procedures, and we have to train, and we will normally do the dry run crisis, something like every day. I mean, we have to be in tip-top condition. We don't know when, I mean, incident can happen at any time. I mean, we are all human beings, like there are a lot of things impacting that. So we have to be ready for that. Then we have to prepare ourselves and we have to train our operation to be take part of that life cycle replacement. Then the second thing we can talk about is the sustainability and the PUE. Everybody now we are talking about, because of the AI workloads, we are consuming, all the data centers are consuming very high power. So because of that, how are we going to get the green power, especially on the renewable? Especially I'm in Singapore. In Singapore, it's very hard to get us the renewable green powers. So how are we going to manage that? India, at least, we have a lot of solar panels. I think a lot of panelists earlier discussed. They can give, I mean, Reliance, before that, they tell us 1 gigawatt, they have the solar power, all those things. So that is the second challenge. And the third challenge, which I mentioned, is the PUE, power usage effectiveness. When you have that kind of energy consumption, you have to think about how you are going to optimize your power usage effectiveness. Everybody last time is 1.6, 1.5, 1.45. Now we are talking pre-request itself 1.3. How are we going to achieve this? Either by liquid cooling, or it should be from the, or you are installing any AI digital twins to do this optimization. So these are all the major challenges from the operation point of view. We are going to face, and we have to work it out and stand by with the answers. If not, I can't go and say to the customer, or I'm not ready to do these operations or AI workloads. We have to be ready, get it ready. Whatever the project give it to us, we have to work it out, the procedures, everything according to that, to maintain the reliability and the operations.
No, thank you. So, as a follow-up, how operational design modifications during the retrofit stage, how operation is influencing the retrofit life cycle?
I think he mentioned that, right? Earlier we have 3 to 5 kilowatt, 5 to 10 kilowatt. Now it's everything is more than 20 kilowatt. So once if the design stage it go to the 20 kilowatt, and if they're adapting any new cooling technologies to cool down the high density server racks, we have to train. We have to think about that, and we have to prepare that new procedures for that, and we have to closely work it out with the project team to identify even in the design stage itself. So it can give us a clear picture how are we going to maintain and what are the constraints when we're doing the maintenance, because once the project handover, I think they have to go move on to the next project, then it's our job to maintain the thing. So during the initial design stage as well as the project stage itself, we have to work it out closely, and we have to solely depend upon the OEM, because OEM are the one who need to train us on the new technologies. Especially we are talking about now liquid cooling. Everybody is talking, when you use the liquid cooling, how are you going to manage in a data center? If there is a liquid leakage or if there is any water leakage, how are you going to maintain? And if there is any failover on the CDU, all those things, how it will impact? It will impact the whole server racks, or how the manifold gauge is going to work it out. So these are all the things it was in the project stage itself. During the installation time, our operation team to be there as a guard, then we know that how they are installing, and we can see where is the issues when we do the maintenance, monthly maintenance or yearly maintenance. They can give us some idea, but it's I think from the operation point, we have to be there to understand major on the operation part. Then it's easy for us to maintain and manage.
No, yeah, Ravindra.
I just want to add to what Muthu said, and I think we are also